An Orange County, Indiana sheriff deputy is still fighting for his life after being shot multiple times, once in the head. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieter. It's our top story here tonight. Sheriff Davey Henderson speaking exclusively with us about Deputy Zach Andrews' condition in a Louisville hospital. The WHAS11 Night Team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter have an update on his recovery.
There's still a chill in the air at the Orange County Sheriff's Department as Deputy Zach Andrews continues to fight for his life.
He's under sedation, he's going through treatments, so it's a long road ahead, and we're hoping that he can make a full recovery and someday maybe possibly come back to work here. That's our ultimate goal, is to get him back here, get him home.
Orange County Sheriff Davey Henderson says Andrews is one of 10 deputies who patrol the entire county. The sheriff describes him as a French Lick native, dedicated family man, and a Christian, always willing to help his community.
If I could put out a model policeman, his actions, his how he feels about his community, how he does things, it'd be Zach. He's a well put together young man, very polite, always willing to help.
Almost 2 weeks ago, Andrews pulled over to check on what he believed was a broken down car during his routine shift. Henderson says that's when 33-year-old Austin Shepard exited the car and shot Andrews several times. He was then airlifted to a Louisville hospital. A 2-day manhunt ensued for Shepard and ended with LMPD killing him in a shootout with police the next day. All the while, Andrews was in the hospital fighting for his life.
As to a motive of why Mr. Shepard took these actions, we're not exactly clear yet. He just obviously didn't want to go back to jail and decided to make a bad situation even worse.
The same day Andrews was shot, Springs Valley High School held a prayer vigil for him. And across the street from the scene, a thrift shop owner placed a card for him on her prayer board.
What does it say about Orange County and their support for your department?
I think it just goes back to why I became sheriff of Orange County when I retired from the state police, because this is just the people here are just great. They support us, they take care of us, we take care of them.
As the deputy remains in critical condition, he has a whole community praying for his recovery. In Paoli, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 on your side.
The sheriff says they are collecting donations to benefit Andrews and his family during this difficult time through the Indiana Fallen Heroes Foundation. If you want to make a donation, we have a link on our website, WHAS11.com. And new tonight, community members in the Clifton neighborhood are still recovering after the Givaudan plant exploded over 2 months ago. Today, company representatives met with community members again as part of an ongoing effort to connect with those impacted by the November explosion. We spoke with Hillary Ford, who told us she's still in temporary housing.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait. Again, that's not Givaudan's fault, but it being the time of year that it is, with the holidays, with the weather, everything is taking longer, and we all just want to be home.
Ford went on to tell us the meetings have been extremely beneficial for her and her neighbors. There will also be a meeting next week, and if you can't make those meetings, you can call the company with questions at the number right here on your screen. That number is 502-341-2903. Also new tonight, the man who shot at Craig Greenberg as he was running for mayor has asked for the minimum sentence possible. Quinton Brown pleaded guilty last July to interfering with an election and discharging a firearm during a crime. In new court filings today, attorneys for Brown argue the minimum of 15 years is sufficient. They contend Brown admitted to firing his gun, but say he was not attempting to kill Greenberg. Court documents say 15 years will be enough time for Brown to, quote, get his mental health under control, end quote. Brown will be in court next Friday for sentencing. An incident where a buck was shot with a crossbow in the Beargrass Creek State Nature Preserve is being investigated as a poaching incident. It's deer hunting season right now in Kentucky, but this specific incident happened on land where it's illegal. The WHAS 11 Night Team's Clarice Shaley spoke with people in the area concerned about this happening again.
The peaceful Wood Creek condominiums in Louisville become the scene of a crime.
First thing that goes through your mind is that the innocent deer laying there, and you just don't understand why.
After a person allegedly shot and killed a buck with a crossbow and arrow Monday night. Blood still in the snow, but has been blurred. A person was seen dragging the buck down from the hill here to this parking spot where it was then loaded into a truck.
I just can't think of anybody that would be that inconsiderate to do something like that.
The complex next to the Beargrass Creek State Nature Preserve.
He's right there to the right of the tree.
Sees deer often.
And just really enjoy seeing them. They're beautiful creatures.
Now they're concerned if it could happen again.
You got windows there that go through windows. You know, you hear that all the time. Innocent people in the house get shot.
It was shocking.
Executive Director of the Louisville Nature Center, Rebecca Minnick, investigated the scene just up the road from her office. She says the person broke 2 laws, baiting the deer, which was confirmed when salt blocks were found where the deer is believed to be shot, and hunting where it is illegal.
My biggest frustration is that someone would be so reckless as to do this in a densely populated area where there's a lot of people. It's just completely careless.
It's sad. I hope they find out who it was and do the proper punishment for them.
As the investigation continues, people are on the lookout for a gray truck, possibly a Toyota Tacoma with black rims. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
If you have any information on the incident, you're encouraged to call Kentucky State Police Post 4 at 270-766-5078 and ask to speak with the local game warden. Just 2 days into his term, and newly sworn-in Governor Mike Braun already signed executive orders today. As we told you this week, Braun says government efficiency will be a top priority for him. One of the first orders makes executive orders more transparent. It creates a website where all active orders are available to look at. He also directed the Budget Office to develop policies to make sure agencies work within their budgets. In an effort to get people back in the office, Governor Braun is also requiring every state employee back in office by July of this year. New here at 11, a student-led lawsuit claims Kentucky's education system is backsliding and argues the state is failing in its constitutional duty to provide all children with an adequate and equitable education. The lawsuit claims that the state has failed to maintain the Kentucky Education Reform Act that was passed in 1990 and became a basis for the national model of education reform. The lawsuit claims that in the first decade of the act, the per capita spending narrowed between poor and wealthy districts. However, in the 2 decades since, the state has failed to maintain that, which plaintiffs say puts a heavier financial burden on local districts. Some of the students involved in the lawsuit are members of the organization Kentucky Student Voice, who shared this press conference. They emphasize this lawsuit is not targeting the schools themselves, but their policies.
We see the dedicated adults in our schools every day, teachers, counselors, and staff who work tirelessly to overcome systemic challenges. And we also know that superintendents and district staff are doing everything they can with the resources they are given.
The lawsuit is against top leaders in the Republican-dominated legislature, the State Board of Education, and the State Education Commissioner. The State Education Department declined comment on the lawsuit, and a spokesperson for the GOP Senate leadership said their office does not comment on pending litigation. Many people are waiting for hours in lines for simple renewals and replacements of their Kentucky driver's license. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet blames the weather for the lines. However, some people are blaming the new eye exam requirement. Today, we found several people who waited up to 7 hours in line.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah, because now I've got to drive all over the place. I was using my lunch hour to come here to do this, but there's a 2 to 3 hour wait already. I can't do that.
Taking a closer look, it's not just the clerk's offices with long wait times. Ophthalmologists are seeing a rush of patients trying to get those eye exams. Courtney Burden, general manager of Kentucky Eye Care, gave us these tips. If you have 20/20 vision, your first step should not be your doctor. You can go ahead and renew your ID like normal and give the doctor's office some grace. Dr. Burden said they were already backlogged because of the snowstorm and now the demand for vision exams. Well, it's still dangerous out there on side roads in Kentucky, Anna, and today 2 JCPS buses slid on icy roads during drop-off. The first bus was carrying 14 students from Lane Elementary in the Autumnburdale neighborhood. The bus slid off the road and hit a tree. Luckily, no one was hurt. The second was on East Indian Trail in Newburgh. 3 Liberty High schoolers were on board at the time. However, help is on the way. Mayor Craig Greenberg has redeployed the Metro Snow Team to salt over 90 extra routes, focusing on side streets and neighborhood roads. JCPS identified 70 neighborhood routes and 23 schools that need salting. Greenberg said neighborhoods along steep slopes are also being treated, which began this afternoon.
We know there are still roads in our community that need attention. The freezing weather is not cooperating, and we cannot rely on sunshine and Mother Nature alone.
Greenberg says the plows will be out for as long as they need to get to roads in better shape.